Welcome back, everybody. My name is AllFunAndGames. I stream every day on Twitch TV, and I also make fun little videos here on YouTube. Today, I want to showcase one of my best pals, Woodie. Woodie's an all-around great character when it comes to basically exploring and basically attacking and everything else that you want to do in Don't Starve Together. I love Woodie. I don't play him that much anymore, but I usually like to play him at the very beginning of Don't Starve Together, and here's why. Sometimes other players will decide that they want to take on the role as Woodie, and that's to each their own. But of course, like I said, I like to just do it at the very beginning, and this is pretty much the reason why I like to do it. As Woodie, you are able to go to the Lunar Island as fast as you can. Now, normally nowadays, when that you can make a grass boat or whatever else, if you do end up finding the Lunar Island, or you believe you found the Lunar Island, you can obviously take your time to explore. But if you're playing as Woodie, you can just do this yourself. So let's talk about how and why you can do this. Essentially making yourself a kitschy goose idol, which if you're not familiar with Woodie, he has 3 formations. He has the ability to transform into a moose, a goose, and a werebeaver. But of course, in this situation, each of them have their own ability. Of course, it's pretty straightforward. A beaver chops down wood, a goose can go explore out at sea, and a moose can go and attack and do a bunch of crowd control. So you want to make sure that you choose what is necessary for you. And when it comes to going to the Moon Island, well, I want to be the fastest boat at sea, and that is none other than the goose. Essentially what it'll do, or what it requires, is something that is very easy to come by. Early on in Don't Starve Together, birds will basically give you seeds. They'll literally fly over and say, hey, you need a seed. Want a seed? You want to have one? Come on, here, take a seed. Eventually, what you do is you can find seeds on the ground. Once you have 3 of them, all you need is 3 more monster meat, and you're all set to make yourself a kitschy little goose idol. What happens when you decide to eat one? Well, you transform into said moose, goose, or werebeaver, whatever you end up having. So in this situation, obviously, I'm required to make 3 or to get 3 seeds and get 3 monster meat. For the moose, it's 2 grass and 3 monster meat. And for the beaver, it's 2 logs and 3 monster meat. But let's ignore these for now, shall we? And let's focus on the goose. After eating this, you want to be very careful to make sure that you have some food, and I'm going to show you why that's the case. If you decide to transform into the goose and you decide to stand still, well, your character is going to remove the wear meter, and you're going to see about that in a second. So you want to make sure that you're next to the water, and you're going to get ready to explore. After you do, your character is going to basically drop any armor that they're currently holding, but your little meter is essentially going to appear right here. As you can see, it's not draining too quickly, but you have a while to essentially explore. And that's what I'm doing right now. I do know which way the Moon Island is, so you want to basically kind of continue on that path. Now, if you decided that you want to explore, for example, if you have no idea where the Moon Island is, well, of course, in that situation, the Lunar Island is obviously anywhere. But you have quite a while as a goose. But that is why I made 2 of those little kitschy goose idols, because you're going to need them. You're going to need to have one to obviously, transform you back into another goose if you decide to run a land and you don't have anywhere to go. As you can see, the timer is still taking a very long time to tick down, as we have plenty of time to essentially just keep going and going and going. Now, after I end up on the Moon Island, I can then basically do what I mentioned at the beginning, which is basically standing still. The reason why I'm going to the Moon Island is obviously to get my little friends here, the stone fruits. And after I decide to stand still, you're going to see the idol actually you're going to see the actual meter. Look how fast it's dipping down, as it's basically telling the game, hey, look, you're not moving around, you're not actually going on water, you're going to be obviously turning back into regular Woodie. It's not a full moon, so it's not going to transform me back into it, but that's why I brought my carrots with me. After digging up all the carrots, I now have food to obviously hold me over, because transforming back into regular Woodie makes your stomach basically go empty. So you can give yourself a little bit of food to basically tie you over. I also brought myself a shovel that I pre-made before I got here as well, and here we go. Now we're picking up all the stone fruit trees that we want to, making sure that we grab them, and then we take off from the Moon Island. Now, it's entirely up to you if you want to take it this way. Some people prefer to make a boat, but I just want to kind of showcase how I make it so fast to come out here during the day. This takes me around 2 to 3 days to actually do this by the time I get the monster meat and essentially make sure that I know where the actual lunar biome is. Sometimes a little bit longer, as it does take a while to actually explore the outside of the actual world. And depending on how many players I have on the server with me, it could take a while. If I'm the only one doing this, it most likely will take me anywhere from 6 to 7, maybe even 8 days to explore the entire outside. But if it's, like I said, 6 to 7 players playing with me, sometimes we explore the outside pretty quickly. And people even say, hey, I can see the moon island over there. I took a little small boat and it's over there. So if Woodie, can you please do it for me? And sure enough, I'm more than willing to do so. The one thing you got to be worried about here is, of course, that things can attack you. So just be a little bit cautious if you decide to come across any spiders, as obviously the spiders are going to cause you a little bit of havoc. But nonetheless, I'm out here gathering and picking up all of the stone fruit bushes as I'm getting ready to bring them home. And when you have whatever the heck you want to have with you, take everything out of your hands, make sure that you get ready, and kitschy goose idol back home. After I transform back into my moose, I keep saying moose, back into my goose, I'm going to travel back to the way that I came, and I'm going to be nice and safe and sound. And of course, there's really no way around messing this up, as you just basically are going to be a goose that runs back and forth. You run and run and run until your meter completely drains down, so don't really be too worried about that, as you have plenty of time, as I mentioned. But the one thing to make sure that you do is that you have at least 2 idols in your inventory at any said time. You definitely do not want to be stuck on that island without anything. Now, birds will still drop you seeds out there, so that's not a big problem, but of course it's obviously like not ideal to go anywhere without an emergency set of a backup. So just be sure about that. But anyways, I'm back on land, and I've done what I needed to do in this video, so there you go. Make yourself everything that you need to do. Get 2 idols, make sure that you have some carrots, and make sure that you have the shovel. If you want to make it a little bit better than that, and you want to go a little bit a step above what I did, go ahead and make sure that you have some armor, and of course, maybe some light sources, as if it gets dark out there, you want to make sure that you have enough to make a torch, and or make a campfire pre-made, as I've showcased in another video. But that is how I get to the island and get my stone fruit bushes ASAP as Woody. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.